Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to this week's episode of the Legal Beagle podcast. I am in black and white this week, and that's because we're going to talk about a product liability case that is very well known. It was covered worldwide. It's the McDonald's coffee cup case. And that case simply isn't as black and white as it seems. If you don't know, if you didn't follow that case beyond what you heard in the media, there are a lot of things wrong about that case. In fact, McDonald's spent millions of dollars to convince you that they weren't the bad guy. It was actually Stella Liebeck, the plaintiff, who brought that case against them. So this video just highlights some of those things and talks about what you should be aware of when thinking about a product liability case. So without further ado, here is a younger-looking Jonathan to explain the problems with McDonald's coffee cup case.
There's a much talked about case known as the McDonald's coffee cup case. Most people will shake their head when you bring up this case and say something like, "Didn't that lady sue McDonald's for $1 million?" Stella Liebeck was a 79-year-old lady sitting in the passenger seat of her car who spilled hot coffee on her lap after going through a McDonald's drive-thru. Liebeck suffered third-degree burns on her pelvis and underwent skin grafting. She received medical attention for almost 2 years following the burn. Now here's the part that most people never heard. Ms. Liebeck offered to settle her case for $20,000, which would simply cover her medical expenses at the time. McDonald's offered her a whopping $800. The case went to trial and the jury awarded Ms. Liebeck $2.8 million, which is the equivalent of 2 days of coffee sales for McDonald's. That's the millions of dollars that Ms. Liebeck sued McDonald's for. However, she would never actually get the money. The court reduced her award down into the six figures, and she eventually settled for something significantly less since McDonald's continued to appeal the case. At the end of the day, McDonald's admitted that they did not warn their customers of the risk of injury that their hot coffee posed. This is known as a product liability case. There are a few different types of product liability cases, like when an airbag fails to deploy, or when an e-cigarette blows up in someone's face. There's a reason we don't allow lead paint in toys or allow mercury in our food. When a business fails to warn people that their product could hurt someone, like what happened to Ms. Liebeck, then a product liability case should be expected. When you buy or use something, you rightfully expect it to be safe. As you can see, product liability cases are often complicated and are not always as they appear. We at Negretti & Associates pride ourselves on our willingness to turn over every rock in our pursuit of holding people accountable. If something like this has happened to you or someone you love, give us a call and let's talk about it.